election could not be more stark. On the one hand, you have a radical left freak. You have a candidate who is fake, fake, fake. On the other hand, you have a president who will fight, fight, fight for America. Fight, fight, fight. I will, I promise. I will.
Donald Trump absolutely eviscerated and roasted Kamala Harris at his rally in Atlanta today. And if you ask me, this is one of the best speeches he's given in a long time. It really looked like a return to form. It reminded me of the 2016 Trump because he's not holding any punches when it comes to Kamala Harris. He really took the gloves off today, and I love to see it. And I think a lot of other people love to see it too, because people support Trump because he's not with all of the political correct nonsense. No, he's more of a genuine person. He gets on stage and he speaks in a way that he would speak to anyone off camera. You don't hear many politicians coming on camera speaking in the way that Trump speaks. But that's because I don't think Trump cares. He always says the quiet part out loud, and that's what we like to hear. And regardless if you like the guy or you hate the guy, I know a lot of people hate him. You can't deny that he is who he is, and he's going to show you who he is, and he's going to be his genuine self every time. We cannot say the same about Kamala. No one really knows who Kamala is. You may know some details about her past. You may know some details about her present, but you don't really know who she is as a person. We know who Donald Trump is. We all do. But you don't really know Kamala Harris because she's like water. She takes the shape of whatever container she is put in. She's liquid. She sways with the wind. She will say whatever she needs to say to get in the position that she needs to be in. Whereas Trump says controversial things every single day. Trump says things that can and will and are used against him on a daily basis. Whereas Kamala, she's shape-shifting. She's constantly changing into something or someone else. And you can't really get a good read on a lot of her policies because her policies change and her accent changes and her whole demeanor changes depending on who she's in front of at the time.
It's not the border czar. She was. The New York Times has a headline, border czar. She was the border czar. She was the worst border czar. She was the worst czar in history. Kamala's radical ideas belong in a San Francisco commune filled with far-left freaks, but they do not belong in the White House. They do not belong in the United States of America. This November, Georgia is going to tell Kamala that we will not let her turn America into a communist country. Remember I used to say, we will never be a socialist country. Well, I was right. They skipped socialism. I was right. I was right. It will never be a socialist country. I'd say that. State of the Union, I said, we will not ever allow our country to be a socialist country. I was right. It's gone communist. It skipped socialism.
And this is my main problem with Kamala Harris. It's not her shady past. It's not even her crappy policies. Don't get me wrong. Those are two huge issues. But my main issue with Kamala Harris is that she's an airhead. She is a literal airhead, the definition of an airhead. There's no substance to any of her words. If you ever hear this woman talk off prompter, you hear how stupid she is. And crappy politics and policies to the side. At the end of the day, she's not mentally fit to be president. Now, it's a different situation than Joe Biden. Joe Biden wasn't mentally fit because he's old. Kamala's not mentally fit because she's just stupid. When you hear her open her mouth and talk, you sit there in astonishment. Not because she's saying anything groundbreaking, because you're astonished that someone this dumb, this hollow, this hollow has managed to make it this far in life. And you look at that and it's discouraging. I feel like Trump boosts people's morale. You know what I mean? Whereas Kamala, she kills the morale. Because you look at that and you're just like, what? How did this person, who cannot talk for anything, Kamala cannot talk. She can't even think for herself. But she is one step away from being president of the United States.
Did you see her the other night? They put a camera in her face. She can't even talk. We just went through 4 years. Let's not go through another 4 years.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day.
A lot of the shock value is gone because we already had Biden, someone who's half dead as president for 4 years. So a lot of the shock value is gone. But once you really start listening to Kamala, it will shock you. You will literally be sitting there dumbfounded that someone, this idiotic made it this far. And it's like, listen, there are smart people in politics that have politics I don't agree with. But those people are still smart, right? There's politicians that believe in some radical, crazy stuff that I would never go along with, but they're still smart people. Kamala, yeah, her politics and her policies are crappy, but she's just downright stupid. I don't know any other way to put it, folks. I honestly don't. But it's not her politics that are stupid, even though those are stupid too. It's just her. Like, I hear smart people trying to, preach crappy ideas all the time. We hear smart politicians pushing crappy politics all the time. Whereas Kamala is a dumb politician pushing dumb politics. And it's just an all-out recipe for disaster. And it's discouraging to me knowing that some people can literally watch this woman talk and they actually think that she's saying something. But right now, I want you all to say something down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.